he said is that Russia understands the insanity that the West is involved in. And so he has put in additional interim measures. He has created room for escalation management. For instance, he said, if you attack us with HIMARS or ATACMS, we may not go straight to nuclear war. We may choose to attack you using our precision weapons that we'll turn over to a third-party proxy just to keep this game of escalation going. Now, a lot of people heard that and went, oh, how provocative can he be? And I heard that and I said, thank God he just put an escalation control mechanism in place. And he also talked down. He said, yes, we have nuclear weapons. Yes, we have a doctrine. And yes, that doctrine can be implemented and will be implemented if need to be. But we're not there yet. He brought it down. He brought the temperature down, everything down. He's doing everything right to manage this. The question is, are we in the West listening? And are we going to respond in kind to de-escalate? And I'm afraid I'm not hearing that from the West right now. Maybe we can, but this is one of the reasons for this press conference, is to drive home the absolute imperative for the United States to take a leadership role in de-escalating the Ukrainian conflict.
I mean, it seems like at every turn, unless I'm wrong, it seems like at every turn they keep trying to call his bluff to see if he's actually telling the truth. And at every turn, they've been rebuffed. So now he's saying, I'm going to use third-party proxies, just like you guys are doing. It seems like a great idea. So I'm going to provide weapons to these third-party proxies. And do you want to test that? Do you want to see if we're being truthful? Do you want to see if I'm bluffing here? First of all, is he bluffing? And second of all, what particular third parties would the United States maybe want to provoke and try? Would it be Yemen? Would it be Syria? Where do you think these proxies would be located that we would want to test this out, this theory?
I mean, that's a Russian foreign policy, national security policy prerogative. But I'll say this: a Russian ship has arrived in a Cuban port. On board that ship are Zircon hypersonic missiles that are in range of the United States, and the United States has nothing that can shoot them down. There's also a Russian nuclear-powered missile, cruise missile submarine in the same area. The weapons on board these two ships have the ability to take the East Coast off of the map of the United States. That's with, of course, nuclear weapons, but they're also precision guided. How does it feel to be in the White House knowing that you're 12 minutes away from dying and there's nothing anybody can do to save you? The Secret Service can't get you out of the White House fast enough. And it's not a nuclear explosion. It's a Zircon missile that's going to come in and hit the White House. It can't be stopped. If the president's in the White House and the Russians decide to kill him, he's a dead man. Anybody in the United States on the East Coast is a dead man if the Russians decide to kill him. You see, that's what we have done to the Russians. We have them living under that. You know, every morning that Putin goes to work, he's 12 minutes away from dying if the United States or, Europe wanted to send precision-guided missiles into the Kremlin. And in the West, we seem to think that's okay. Well, guess what? Russia just flipped the script. And if the Russians are who I think they are, I'm imagining that there might be some cargo on these ships that stays behind in Cuba. And when these ships visit Venezuela, there's some cargo that'll stay behind in Venezuela, so that the United States will live in perpetual fear of Russian hypersonic missiles, conventionally armed. I don't think the Russians will deploy nuclear weapons into Cuba or Venezuela. Conventionally armed, they can't be stopped. There's nothing America could do to stop. And if the United States seeks to strike them, understand these weapons now will strike America. We've taken away, Russia is going to remove the ability of the United States to attack Venezuela, attack Cuba with no consequence. Again, it changes the entire paradigm of what we're doing here. So, and I think Yemen is
what leverage do we have anymore? I mean, this is we've lost all leverage. They're not using the US dollar anymore. What leverage do they have?